As a student body, we're privileged to have you, our veterans, with us today. Here at Cathey, we have two very special veterans who not only served our country, but also MISD and Cathey Middle School. Mr. Bedford, our principal, and Sergeant Anatol. Let's give them a round of applause. We also have a few McAllen ISD school board members. Please stand so we acknowledge you. Today's color guard is the Mac High Army Junior ROTC Bulldog Battalion. Commander of the Mac High Color Guard and carrying the United States flag is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Sergio Saldivar. Carrying the Texas flag is Cadet First Sergeant Matthew Hinojosa. The right guard is Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Thomas Tedder.
Oh. Left face. Present colors.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You made those colors?
Carry colors. Right face. Forward march.
Please remain standing as the Cathey Choir, Orchestra, and Symphonic Band plays the Star Spangled Banner. Thank you. You may be seated. Please welcome Victoria Gonzalez, our National Junior Honor Society President, as she gives us the History of Veterans Day.
Good morning. My name is Victoria Gonzalez, and I am the National Junior Honor Society President. Veterans Day is an opportunity to publicly commemorate the contributions of the living veterans and those who survived war but are no longer with us. On this Veterans Day, we want to recognize that throughout our nation's history, there has always been a unique group of citizens who have stepped forward to ensure the safety and security of the rest of the nation. Those citizens are the millions of brave men and women who have served in our United States Armed Forces since our nation's birth. We celebrate this day to recognize and honor those of you who have placed your country above yourselves, those of you who have placed the safety and security of others before your own, and those of you who have done your duty by taking your place in line just as the generations of military men and women did before you. Let there be no mistake when you leave here today. Our country owes its very existence to our American soldiers because without you, our worlds would be a very different place. Now our rhythm rockers will sing For America.
I would like to introduce our guest speaker, Mayor Jim Darling, McAllen Mayor, and who was also one of our honored guests this morning.
Thank you and good morning. And I'm sorry I'm late. I know I'm keeping some of your classes, and some may not mind that too much. But at any rate, thank you for being here. It seems Veterans Day is a very special day for our city because we're a patriotic city, and so you can see that in the school district. I want to thank the school district board members for letting us do this today, and it's a great opportunity. I know at the War Memorial we always have students there representing the school district, and so we have a very unique relationship in our city of McAllen. I think probably I travel around a lot, and we have a unique relationship and a partnership with our school district for the betterment of our students and our citizens. I'm very proud to have that. Thank you, school board members. You know, I was thinking about when I come in here and seeing all these young students and bright students, it made me think a little bit about what I did when I was your age. I graduated from high school relatively early. I was only 17, and so back then they had to draft, and a lot of my classmates were older than I was, and so I majored in having fun in high school. I got to tell you that. I must admit that. And so I decided I was going to go to college, and so I went part-time, but I was working. And as my friends were turning 19 and getting drafted, back in 1967, they could draft you whether you wanted to go in the military or not. And I wasn't 19, but I felt an urge to serve my country and see my fellow classmates doing that. So I joined the service, and it was very rewarding because I realized how important it was back then to make sure that when we talk about freedom, that's something that you can't take for granted. And you must, serve in many different ways. One could be the military, other can be volunteer service, and I learned that from a long way ago that volunteer service is all very rewarding. Serving your country in the military or volunteering for your community is very rewarding, and it opens up doors for you because this certainly is the land of opportunity. And so when I got out of the service when I was 22 years old, I went back to college. And I thought, you know, what do I want to do? I really wasn't sure about that, and I know many of you face that, but you know what? In the United States of America today, you can do anything you want if you work hard and put your mind to it. And that's what makes this country great, is that it is a land of freedom, but also a land of opportunity. So you have a lot of opportunities to serve, whether it's military, whether it's volunteer work, whether it's for your school, whether it's for your community or your church. I would encourage you to do that, because that's part of what being American is. It's serving your country, serving your community. So this is a great start. I look forward to seeing all you in volunteer work and participating in the city. And someday I hope a bunch of you run for mayor and get to be mayor. I was actually a student council president, the first student council president at our school. We had a brand new school, if you can imagine that. So we were the first sophomores. We didn't have a junior class. Then we were juniors and seniors. So our homecoming was kind of empty because we had no graduates, but at any rate, we had fun doing that. So volunteer now. It's never too late to do that. And so get involved in your community. And also, you know, only 10% of the United States population are veterans. And so make sure you thank a veteran for their service. You certainly have done a great job of that today. But you know, every day should be Veterans Day when we see a veteran out there. So they provide service and put their lives on the line for the country. I was very proud to serve our country. So thank you very much. I'm very proud to be here with you today. Happy Veterans Day. Thank you.
I would like to thank our guest speaker, Mayor Jim Darling, McAllen Mayor, for taking time out of his busy day to share his story with us. At this time, Natalya Ashburn, our Student Council President, will give us a brief history of Veterans Day.
Veterans Day gives us the opportunity to celebrate the bravery and sacrifice of all United States veterans. However, most Americans confuse this holiday with Memorial Day. What's more, some Americans don't know why we commemorate our veterans on November 11th. In the early 1900s, World War I resulted in a devastating loss of lives and thus truly earned its name as the Great War. However, on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month in 1918, an armistice between Allied nations and Germany was signed to cease all fighting in this World War conflict. News of this agreement to end all hostilities resulted in joyous celebrations on the streets throughout the world. This event became an annual observance on both sides of the Atlantic. In New England and Canada, they called it Remembrance Day. In the United States, it was known as Armistice Day, a day dedicated to the cause of world peace. This day, too, was set aside to honor all veterans of World War I. After a few years of peace, the second worldwide conflict began, resulting in the loss of thousands of lives. At the urging of veterans groups, our legislature approved Memorial Day as a day to honor fallen soldiers. Then, in 1954, President Dwight D. Eisenhower signed a bill changing Armistice Day to Veterans Day, a day to honor veterans of World War I, World War II, and the Korean War. Later, Veterans Day was changed to honor all American veterans of all wars. Veterans Day celebrations and observances now take place all over the United States. Some visit the Vietnam Memorial, while others visit the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. In thousands of small towns across our country, many place flowers on graves of loved ones lost in war. In addition, many towns hold parades, religious services, or ceremonies such as this one in honor of veterans. Regardless of how it is celebrated, November 11th is a special day to honor and to give thanks to the American veterans of all wars. Thank you.
Now we will hear from our talented orchestra led by Mr. Rai with the Amazing Grace. Now please welcome Natalie Silva, Secretary of the NJHS, as she leads us in a moment of silence.
Veterans Day is largely intended to thank living veterans for their service, to acknowledge that their contributions to our national security are appreciated, and to underscore that to all those who served in both wartime and peacetime. However, at this time, we would like to have a moment of silence to remember and honor military personnel who died in the service of their country. In particular, those who died in battle or as a result of wounds sustained in battle. Please stand for a moment of silence. Thank you. You may be seated.
Thank you. The Cathey Choir and Symphonic Band will now play Marches of the Armed Forces. This song is a tribute to all the military branches.
United States Marines. United States Army.
At this time, I would like to recognize the music department at Cathey Middle School. Our music teachers do an extraordinary job teaching the students how to perform at the quality level you have enjoyed here today. Every one of the musicians playing today is either 6th, 7th, or 8th grade student. At this time, let us give the whole music staff and students a round of applause. Everyone have a wonderful day.